Hey you guys, if you're planning to sign up for HoneyBook, make sure you use my link so you get 50% off your first year with HoneyBook. The link is in the description. Hey you guys, I'm going to show you how to set up your HoneyBook account. HoneyBook is amazing. I will be using them forever. They run my business, they do everything. And before I was using HoneyBook, I was trying to use Google to organize all my clients and keep track of photo shoots and all of those things. And then I was using another program. I was paying like $30 or $40 a month for like no capabilities. It was very, very lame. And then I was paying another program $30 a month to do something else, and I was spending so much money, and I was like across the board. And I'm really glad that I found HoneyBook because it does all of those things for me. I never miss payments, which is a big deal because before I was using HoneyBook, I was actually sending out wedding photography before I got paid because I was not able to keep up with my payments. Like I was just losing track of everything. So I'm really grateful that HoneyBook does all of it for me because I'm getting paid on time. I'm way more organized, and the amount of time I spend on admin has been cut down significantly. Honestly, I was probably spending 15 or 20 hours a week on admin trying to organize all my clients and keep up with things and make sure I emailed everyone back and stuff like that. And now I spend probably less than 3 hours a week on admin because it just does everything for me. So I'm going to show you exactly what to do to set this up because there's so much, it's a lot. So I just want to help you guys jumpstart anything that was making you anxious or anything about HoneyBook. I want to jumpstart that and walk you through exactly how to set it up. So today I'm going to show you how to create client profiles and send out invoices and stuff like that. So here on, when you create your HoneyBook account, you will have a 7-day free day trial, and that is what we're looking at right here. So it will prompt you to go through and create your profile, which is really easy. We're going to skip over that. But then on a normal day basis, once you're set up, here on your home page, or it's kind of like your desktop, your hub, this is where you're going to see like quick links, shortcuts to all of your important tools. For example, on your calendar, let's go over to mine. So this is my real business account. I'm going to have to blur out a lot of stuff because it's private to my clients and in my business. But you can see on my calendar, today I have 30 scheduled events. That's not 30 photo shoots necessarily. A lot of those are like sales calls or whatever, things like that I have to do that day. But it just kind of keeps me on track. I could, I think I have all different calendars on my Google Calendar attached to this. So I could get rid of like my to-do list and things like that and just show whatever photo shoots I have. You can totally customize that. Over here it shows you tasks. This is where I have my to-do list and things. Bookkeeping shows me that there are 2 payments overdue, which is really good for me to know about, and it allows me to be on top of that. And then here on reports, it shows me how much I've made this year or how much the value of what I'm going to make, and then my top lead source. So this is just kind of your hub, your easy, quick to look at thing. And then we're going to come over here to projects. And the first thing we see here is this notification. HoneyBook wants me to update my bank information to keep everything functioning well and make sure I get my payments. One of the things I love about HoneyBook is that it does everything for me. So it just lets me know like there's something coming up, and it gives me like, it's really just easy to use. Anyway, so we're here in projects, and what we're looking at here is all of my active projects. So I have 38 active projects. That means, and when I say projects, I mean photo shoots or weddings. So you can see down here, it shows me this one's a wedding, this is boudoir, wedding, that kind of thing. It shows me the project date and the status right here. What we're looking at here is another way to look at the status. So, for example, I have one inquiry. That means that one person, there's an inquiry I haven't looked at. They came through my website, they did the contact me page, and now their inquiry is sitting here. They want to hire me, or they want more information. I try to move people along the status flow as fast as I can so that they've always been responded to quickly. So I move them to follow up. And so this means that I've sent 5 proposals that I'm waiting on people to sign. There are 7 proposals that have been signed but haven't had a retainer paid. 10 people have had a retainer paid but haven't had a consultation yet, which means just looking at this, I know I've got a lot of consultations to do. And then I just move them along here. I have customized this. You can see there's a lot of steps that I've put in. This is what yours will look like when you sign up and do your free trial. And then you can click customize, and you can add different stages in here like I've done on mine. Okay, we're back in my business profile, and we're going to create a new project. So a bride has called you. She's like, hey, so-and-so, I want to book you for my wedding. And you're like, great. So you come here to new project, and you put in her name. I'm going to say example bride. Usually I do first and last name and then wedding. So like Emily Peterson wedding or something like that. And then you choose what kind of shoot it is. I only shoot boudoir and wedding, so that's on there. You choose your lead source, and this keeps track. So if, for example, when I started keeping track of this, I was really surprised by how many brides were coming to me through referrals from a specific vendor. So that was good for me to be aware of. It's just keeping track of stats. And then you choose your date. I'm going to choose tomorrow. And then you create your project. And right here, it's going to ask you for the email address and phone number and stuff for your bride. So you're creating this profile of the wedding on your HoneyBook account, but then by adding this information in, it's going to give her access to see the stuff that you're putting in here. Not everything, but some of it. And I'll show you that. If you wanted to add more people, like a mother or a wedding planner or something, you could add more people to this profile. And then if you want to change this picture, you come up here to your library and choose a photo that you have added in before. Very cute. It shows us the stats there. Here on details, this is where you can change more about the wedding, or you can add notes and say like, bride is super pumped for the first look pictures, or something like that. Or like, bride seems very stressed about flowers. Make sure you get good pictures of flowers, or whatever. You could put the timeline of the wedding day in those notes, whatever you need to do. Over here, once we send an invoice, you'll be able to look at the payments and see if they're overdue, if she's paid them, when the next scheduled payment is coming up, that kind of thing. If you've ever sent files like an invoice or a questionnaire or a picture or anything like that to your client, that will show up here. The best file cabinet ever. It is a file cabinet, that's a perfect description. And then on activity, you connect your business email with HoneyBook, and then any emails that you send or receive through your business email or through HoneyBook for this client will be here in order of when they were sent. So instead of having to go back and forth between your Google account and your HoneyBook account, everything you've ever communicated over email is going to be right here. So I do my best to keep all my communication with my clients in email so that I have it all in one place. So it's super, super easy for me. I love that. Okay, and then new file, over here we come to proposal. So HoneyBook has a few different ways to do things. You can send just an invoice, you could send just a contract, or you can send a proposal, which is an invoice and a contract together. So that's what we're going to do. I have previously created invoices and contracts for my clients, and I will show you how to do that. But because I have created those already and assigned them to proposals, this is already built out for me, which makes it so easy every time I send out an invoice. So down here, I have a proposal created for each of my wedding packages already. Say this example bride wants my basic wedding package. I'm going to click the Ruby wedding package, and it will pull up the proposal. And I'm going to go through with you and make sure that everything is correct. I always double check this before I send it to clients because this is my official quote and I don't want to accidentally send the wrong quote to them. But this is set up correctly, so you could just add a recipient, or if you had already added one, then it would say send the email. So right here, I'm going to walk you through this. When it says proposal, really what it means right there is invoice, because we are looking at the invoice. You have the option to change this. You can change this. You can change the price. I live in a state where I have to tax for photography, so I keep that clicked. But I don't have to charge tax for travel fees. So if I were to add in a new item and do travel fee right here, I would not click the tax box for a travel fee because I don't have to charge for that. But you can see that added $50 here. We also can just delete that and keep that by itself. And then if I wanted to do a $100 discount, I could do that and it would do the math for me. You can change the tax percentage or just put a very specific number there in the tax. That's easy. So that's how I customize the invoice. Then the next thing we have, the payment plan here. This is where you can choose when they pay you. I have my basic payment plan set up already, and so it automatically comes up in here, but you could customize this for a client if you needed to. My basic is, we're going to customize this. Oh, it's not letting me customize it because it says it's overdue. So I'm going to say the first payment is due the day of the invoice, the second payment is due halfway, and then I'm realizing the reason this is hard is because I made the day of the photo shoot tomorrow. Okay, so I messed up that example. Normally the wedding date is months and months in advance, so I always put the first payment the day of the invoice, and that's the day they need to put their deposit down. And I always do $500 of the first payment, $500 as their down payment. And then I usually have the second payment halfway through, and then the last payment is due the week before the wedding. So you can customize that. That could be like a very specific date that you want them to pay, whatever. But it shows you when, if it's upcoming or if it's overdue or anything like that, and then you can mark it manually as paid if they paid through Venmo or something like that. So that's the payment schedule. You can always come back and customize the invoice or the payment schedule after you have sent it out to the client. And then the last thing here in this package is the contract. You can see HoneyBook is so cool. It has sections where it'll just fill in whatever you need it to fill in. So I have it filling in that the agreement is on this invoice date, and then it has the name of the proposal, the client's first name, the event date, like all these things that it just automatically fills in so that I don't have to go through every contract and update all of these dates, because that's a pain in the butt. If you want my contract, I have a training on that, and you can download the exact contract that I use that was written by my attorney. It's been awesome. I've had no problems with it. So you can do that if you want. The other thing we didn't do here, because we didn't assign a client to this project yet, it's only going to ask me to sign this contract. Had we assigned a client, it would have another person, another signature here. So what we need to do is add a recipient. So we're going to, I did this out of order, you guys, and I've never done it this way before. We're going to go back, and here in files, it's going to show that we've started a file. You can see it's created, but it's not sent. You'll see once they review it, and once they view it and sign it and pay and that kind of thing, which is cool to see the status. But what we need to do is assign a participant. So I'm going to put in my personal info as the participant here because there's no real client. Okay, so let's put me in here. We're going to go back to this proposal, and now that we have another client, we can add this signature. It's going to make me sign. Perfect. Okay, next thing we can do is review the email. And I have a pre-written email that is automatically pulled up. So that makes my life way easier because I don't have to type out an email every time and make sure it's worded right and all this stuff. So I just have my canned email that sounds comforting and familiar and friendly, but it's already written. And it's all correct. Perfect. It basically is saying once I get your deposit and you sign the contract, then we will be booked. And then I click send, and it's sent. So because I have everything pre-created, like already created, it takes me about a minute, maybe a minute and a half to send out an invoice. Whereas before HoneyBook, it took me at least 10 minutes per client to send out an invoice. It's made my life so much easier. And now that I've sent that email, you can see that it's listed here. It has the proposal connected to it. And let's go to my email account and see what it looks like. So I'm going to open this email. It has my logo on it. Here's the email that it was pre-written. And then we can click here to view the proposal. And it looks great. So this is what the client is actually seeing. They're seeing all of that beautiful invoice. It looks so professional. That's on the proposal aspect of it. I'm going to continue to the contract. It shows me the contract. I have the place where I'm supposed to sign. I see the payments. I accept. Continue to paying. And then right here, it's basically just like a credit card, like if you were going to buy something on Amazon. This is a protected transaction. So me as the photographer, I never touch the credit card. I never see their information because it's protected through HoneyBook. HoneyBook does take a small fee because they're running this transaction process, but I'm okay with that because everything is so organized and I never miss payments. And honestly, with this, because it looks so professional, I have booked way more clients than sending an invoice that was made on Word, Microsoft Word. So I'm fine if they take a little bit of the cut because I am booking more clients through this program. So that's fine with me. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a workflow and write your emails. Remember to use the link and get 50% off your first year with HoneyBook.